Return to session. We were in closed session this evening, but there is no report out of closed session. I do welcome all of you, our voluminous audience this evening. And let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Emily, do you mind leading us, please?
Place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. So can I get a motion to adopt the agenda for the special meeting of the Board of Education?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt the agenda. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Again, we have no report out of closed session. And I guess I need to go to, do we need to?
We have no cards for all.
No oral communication. We have a couple of items on our discussion action item list. Instructions to public speakers wishing to address the board on agenda topics are permitted 3 minutes per topic. Total time granted for public input shall be limited to 30 minutes per topic. Board policies do require that public presentations to the board comply with procedures. And I will read them just to have them on the record. Speaker may not relinquish his or her time to another. When addressing the board, speakers are requested to state their name, address the president from the podium, and adhere to the applicable time limits. Complaints against employees or students will normally be heard in closed session, and the district's complaint procedure should be followed before discussion with the board. The board may remove disruptive individuals and order the room cleared if necessary. Any person who willfully disturbs any public meeting is guilty of a misdemeanor. So, having said that, we will move on to our first discussion action item, which is adopt the 2017-2018 Local Control Accountability Plan, the LCAP.
Madam President, just to clarify, the actual presentations on both of these items and the public hearings were at the June 19th board meeting. Therefore, there are no presentations tonight on either of these
Okay,
items.
everybody recall?
Yes.
We actually
Does it
had,
need
in
a
fact.
motion?
Do you need a motion?
Yes.
Motion to approve the budget.
Second.
Wait, no, Local Control Accountability Plan, we're on first.
Oh, and that too.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the 2017-18 Local Control Accountability Plan. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the plan is adopted, and we will have it on the website imminently.
June or July,
All right, very good.
September, October.
Okay, tomorrow morning, that is immediate action, thank you. Our next item is to adopt the 2017-18 budget and approve the use of 2017-18 Proposition 30, Education Protection Account Entitlement.
So moved.
Second.
Anything to add to that? Nope. We did see a presentation on that last time, too. Anybody questions, comments? Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the 2017-18 budget and the use of 2017-18 Proposition 30, I almost said 33, Education Protection Account Entitlement. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. And I believe that ends our meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn the regular special school board meeting and reconvene in the quarterly bond oversight meeting.
Second?
Does that sound about right?
Okay, it's been moved that we adjourn the special meeting of the Board of Education and reconvene the special meeting of the Board of Education quarterly construction update.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Okay, now, motion to approve the agenda for that second meeting. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Did we get a second on that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mr.
I want to make
Weber.
sure. And we have a staff presentation on Measures Y and Z, quarterly construction update, 2016-17. Measures T and U, fourth quarterly construction update, 2016-17. Let's see, who should we begin with? Mr. Schlegel. Tom
Good evening,
Schlegel
President
is here.
Deutsch, esteemed board members. Is there any questions? We'll just end it right here.
Why don't you go through the motions?
Yeah, I was just going to say, let's go through, the pictures are always good.
As
so-
always, it's a pleasure and an honor.
Yes.
District Cabinet and staff, Shelley, thank you very much for always being on top of it. It's always a pleasure to represent the design and construction team seated behind me. Balfour Beatty represented by Emily Kay, HMC represented by Angel Hosband, and John Gomer representing West Brigham White to provide you the updates on YZ, T, and U projects. First up for you is Angel.
Good evening, board members and cabinet. Thank you, Shelley, for turning on the AC, and thank you, Mr. Lee, for being on top of all those motions. Let's see.
If you come to a regular meeting, he's really good at it.
First, we're going to go through Jefferson Middle School, Yukon Elementary School, and Edison Elementary School. We're going to be talking about the mods for these sites. They are all complete, except for Yukon and Edison. They're just starting the roofing portion of it, and we are going through, HMC is going through the DSA closeout and certification of those sites. Is there any questions on these? Okay, move on to West High School. We're talking about the modernization here. We are, let's see here, we are just starting on buildings 3 and 7 at West High School. And at Richardson Middle School, we are about 65% complete in the construction. Any questions here?
What is being built in the bottom? You probably know. That bottom picture is west.
Oh, that's probably the auditorium.
Is that the auditorium?
Oh, that's the gym.
That's the Jim at
Yeah.
Richardson.
Richardson.
The lady that complained has corresponded with me in the last couple of weeks.
Lucky you.
I know.
And you can see the block going on.
We'll be talking about the gymnasiums a little later. We're just going through Y and Z here.
Can I talk about West for a minute?
Sure.
Just real quick. Can we have like a topping out ceremony or something when you get done with the with the auditorium, kind of something? It's just kind of a show off thing, maybe.
Sure.
Something to show the rest of the community
Well, he lives on the west side. You know what that
and
means.
the people.
You don't mean like a grand opening or a ribbon?
No, we'll have a
cutting? You
ribbon,
mean
that, when
something-
it's all done, that'll be nice. No, we just want to show that we can actually build something quickly and on time and those.
You know how
kinds
those
of
people
things.
from the west side are, right,
Yeah.
Dr. Crumpy?
Well, it's kind of has to do with other people, but yeah, that,
Well, I think it's a good idea because, as you well know, and we've said over and over again, this would give people in the community an idea of what north and south are also doing. So it works for them.
so it might be, like Satchel Paige said, it ain't bragging if you can do it.
He also said, don't look back, they might be gaining.
I like that one better.
Is there any other discussion on either of these projects? Okay. John?
Good evening, board members, cabinet members. Up next is Torrance High School. We are going through the punch list of the final 2 buildings, L and Q. That's the mini gym and the auditorium. The other items are going through their closeout process and paperwork. Any questions
Torrance
on
High,
that?
just to throw something in here, because I drive up and down Carson Street, and when I drive up and down Carson Street, when it's dark out, the only lights in the front of the building are the lights on either side of the front door. The rest of the building's black. Just tell me, because then I'll no longer think it's a good idea. But it would be cool if we could light the front of that building with cool LED lights that do not generate. In fact, we actually tie it to this wind turbine back here. And then zero.
There are LED lights out there, well, to go up the walkway. I don't know why those aren't undone, because we paid a considerable amount of money to have all of those redone.
Because literally, maybe I'm missing it, but when I drive up the street and it's dark, all I see are the two lights on either side of the door on the columns. And then, really, but what I'm saying is spots that shine up onto the building, just kind of
You're
illuminate
not
the
seeing
building.
The three
'cause-
lights in the bays there? Are you talking about the auditorium?
No,
No,
in
I'm
front of the
talking about
building,
the
in front of the
main
building.
Building B, I think you're talking about.
I mean,
So we need to check, Emily, on that. Those are, the ones I'm talking about are actually on the street level.
Right.
That are the very first thing as you're going up the sidewalk, those lights. And then there are some other lights that are by the entrance to the administration building.
Yes, absolutely.
Entirely possible Mr. Evans turned them off.
That's what I was going to say. It could just be a choice of the school, no?
So I have no idea why those aren't.
well, I think aesthetically, I
blame
mean,
Gil.
it is one of the, 4 buildings in town that are on the, Register of Historic Places, and it, really wouldn't be a
Let's
bother
get
to
those
neighbors.
lights on and look at it and see how that looks.
Okay.
Okay, Mrs. Deutsch?
So I had a question regarding the Torrance High School auditorium. Happened to be there for the adult school graduation as well as the Sherry continuation graduation. There was no air conditioning. Is that,
That's still in the process. I
Okay.
understand from today's meeting that'll be in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
They're going to be bringing the unit in and connecting it up.
right?
That's one of the final items on
Right.
building now.
Beautiful auditorium. I mean, just beautiful the way it turned out. Just, I mean, it's so
Thanks.
Art Deco-ish and just the lighting, everything's just beautiful.
Thank you.
Very nice.
In fact, just to add to that, Owen Griffith, who I think might have been here when it was originally built, probably not. But Owen, who has seen it back in the 70s and forward, said it's the most light and beautiful he'd seen the place look in so many years.
really nice.
It was very exciting for him. Thank you.
It's good to hear that. I will relay that to the design team.
I've been in that place, I never noticed the red sconces. I've never, I've been there many times, but I just kind of stared at them that night going, are they new? They can't be new, that was the whole thing.
No, those are original ones.
Very nice.
Will the public be
Now
able
they
to
work.
lease that or use that for events? I stuck my neck out when someone was confronting me about the fact that they couldn't get their more than 500 people into the Armstrong. I said, well, we do have an option to that.
The problem is the parking's a little funky.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's not,
Yeah.
we'll address that.
Okay.
Okay, next item, Carr, Casimir, and Lincoln. We are going through the closeout paperwork items of these projects. Except for the roofing at Lincoln, that's in progress because that was put on hold to be done during this summer. And then also, we are finishing up the science labs for Lincoln and Carr. Lincoln's a little further along, it's actually in the closeout. And Carr's about a month behind that, but they're both on schedule to be done by the end of summer. Any questions on that?
Anybody? No?
Arnold, Anza, and Arlington. Those 3 projects are back out of DSA. We're currently picking up the DSA comments, and it's slated to go back to DSA for stamp out July 21st.
What you should point out, though, that there is roofing going on those projects this summer.
Oh, at the 3 schools, sorry, there is roofing at the 3 schools going on. That's a maintenance item, so it doesn't have to be covered by a DSA approval because you're just replacing like for like.
We made that decision.
And that's,
So they wanted to get that done during this summer hiatus.
and that's coming out of the bond.
I don't know, I'm not sure how which way we're
Yes.
paying for that.
Well, that's really important because those schools in particular have had issues with leaky
Yes.
roofs, so.
Yeah, they did.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeff.
Is that it?
It's like musical chairs.
Yeah.
Okay, Adams, Torrance, and Victor Elementary Schools. We met with the principals on June 9th and got the scope all approved for the 3 sites. We are now in the process of documenting it for construction, and we expect to submit to DSA first week of November.
The last 3 schools.
And
Torrance
and the
and
expect,
Victor are the last three.
the expectation for the time frame once they're submitted again is,
Start construction summer of 18.
which we had hoped would happen this year and did not.
And that's
So let's
the
hope
end.
that
This
doesn't
is
happen
the end.
again.
This is the end.
Yeah,
This is the end.
okay.
Okay. Measure TU, middle school gyms. We are in progress, like we said, on Richardson. The gyms, let's see, what did I have here? 15% complete for Richardson. You saw the photo previously, which is up at the top there. And then Jefferson and Casimir, we are about 5%. We just started.
They got
there.
the rebar in the air today, I noticed. They got a bunch of rebar in the air.
Which one, at Jefferson?
Jefferson.
yeah?
Jefferson and Casimir.
Casimir was just a big hole when I saw it a few weeks ago, so.
The other 4 gymnasiums, we're getting ready to submit to DSA. The 2, Bertlin and Calimayor, will be submitted mid-July, and then Madrona and Magruder will be submitted mid-August for approval. Any questions? The auditoriums, West High School, we just had the footings poured at West High School. I don't know if you've driven by there at all. And for North and South, we've received all the comments from DSA, and we're hoping to get a back check by the end of August.
Good.
Any questions?
No, there's just several events at West at the end of the school year here, and it was interesting to see people having to walk all the way around campus and wondering what the heck was going on. So it was kind of an object of curiosity.
Did you tell them?
Certainly. I was more than happy to tell them.
Okay, John.
Torrance Aquatic Center, as of the end of June, they were about 45, 46% complete. I don't know if you've been by there lately, but they do have the gunite in the pools in there, and the walls are starting to go up
No,
in the building, so it's starting to look like something out there now.
The aquatic center?
Oh,
yeah.
The lower picture on the corner there is one of the latest pictures. You can see the canopies are up, and they're moving out there.
Well, and Dr. Manning, you talked about maybe having a visit there this summer for us. Is that going to work out?
We're setting that up for you, in like 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
We want you, and actually, we're going to invite committee members too, and anybody else you want me to invite. But we want to take you on a day that's safe, where they're not actually pouring, and they're doing a lot of concrete pours. So, a safe time so you can actually walk around.
More fun with the concrete.
But that'll happen.
We'd have our names in it.
I was at Hull at 5 o'clock in the morning when they were pouring. It was more fun than you can imagine.
We can put our names in the concrete.
Oh, yeah, here you go.
Get the plaque.
Never
Or put our
mind.
footprints
Sorry, I'm
or
sorry.
handprints.
I brought it up.
Handprints.
Okay.
I like that.
Any questions? Emily?
They're ready to go swimming. We need it this summer. It's gotten hot so far.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I'm going to report out on the safety and security. So fencing Phase 2 is well underway. We're about 80% complete with the chain link fence installations and about 40% with the ornamental, but both will be complete before school returns across the district. Questions on fencing?
I'll go ahead and jump into it.
What's up?
Where are we at on this isn't part of, it's got to be part of fencing because it's a gate. Where are we at on the gate closers and all of that? Are we, I know that's an ongoing,
It's right here.
Yeah, that's a little bit of the point of entry discussion.
Sorry.
Which I can
I'll
roll
shut up.
right into that, it's fine. Wonderful transition. So that is kind of an element that's going to be added with the secured access entry. What we're going to end up doing, so we were going down a path on the secured access entry and ended up with the district-wide phone upgrade. We're going to integrate the two systems. I'm fairly certain we're going to integrate the two systems. So what we'll end up doing is actually having a secured access entry through the phone system versus two completely separate systems that have to be maintained. What that means then is that we'll have to bid out the hardware that is with that, and then once we're ready to move forward with the system, then we can put the documents together to bid that out. So obviously, we want to make sure that the gates are functioning properly before that happens, and that's something that's underway.
used to, in a previous life, sell card access systems. Put a card in the slot, door unlocks, door opens and closes. Okay, the only issue I'm concerned about is the door. There's a gate closers and the door hardware to hold the gate closed. That gets really, really complex. One of the reasons you have door hardware on the crash bars and everything else so expensive is because they're really hard to make work right. I mean, so I'm just, all right, I'll wait and see.
Yeah.
So they call
Wait for
up
it to
from
be a
outside
problem.
the gate on the district phone, and then they go, and somebody answers?
No, push the button.
Come on, tell us the truth, Bill.
So, if you recall, we were looking at one solution, the A phone. It's still an intercom buzzer system, but that was prior to the approval of the voice over IP system. Now, with the new phone system coming into play, it made a lot more sense to leverage the new IP system with the phones to also use them with the intercom buzzer system outside. So switching from a phone to what we call a 2N system. So myself and Dave Meyer and some folks from my department, we went out to go see where this was installed, and they use it over at Cedars-Sinai Hospital. And it's a really nice system. It's a pretty tough box that you've got to really take a bat to it to destroy. So essentially, what will happen is you buzz yourself in. There's a single button. It's got the camera. On the office staff's computer or phone, because you can go either way. If they're on their computer, if we go with a software solution, a video screen, a feed will pop up on their computer screen, and they can talk, right, two-way audio. And then if they're allowed in, they'll just hit a button on the phone, and that'll buzz open the gate or the doorway. And if you decide to go with the phone, you've got to kind of buy a little more expensive phone, right? You need a little video camera on the phone, so that costs a little more. I'm kind of liking the Cedars-Sinai. They went with just use the computer. They're already in front of the computer, and you only pay a $65 license because it's just software instead of going from our $200 phone to a $400 phone. So it just becomes, but you can go either way. So
How's the button push routed? If the secretary gets up and goes to lunch, does it show up on her screen and she's not there? Can she route it to somebody else?
Right, so the beauty of this system now is that I can apply permissions to anyone in the office. So let's say you've got 2 or 3 folks who man that. We can say, all right, at between 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., these are the folks assigned to watch the door. And after 4 p.m., 5 p.m., let's say you have administration that work late at night, you can put it on a schedule. So when someone walks in past 5 o'clock, you buzz it, it'll ring someone else. So there's a lot of flexibility depending on who and when you want the door to be opened, or we leave them unlocked. Because I think after business hours, when the bell rings, I think we pretty much leave most of the schools open again so that you can welcome your guests in. But during school hours, we're securing the campus. So the bottom line, it's a better solution just going IP based versus having a wired system, which in that case there's no flexibility. We'd literally have to run more conduit and wiring in order to get these on whose ever desk needs this. So.
Okay.
Yep.
And answer your questions, Mark?
More than I need?
And regarding the last item of surveillance, the security camera project is basically complete, and we're finalizing punch list items on the last of the installations. And at the end of the summer, we'll be preparing documents for the Phase 2, which is those new buildings that we're putting in, the new gymnasiums, the auditorium at West. And part of that project is going to be a sort of second phase of the Phase 2, which is the buildings that are coming up, the auditoriums at at North and South, and the remaining gyms. So that'll be coming up, probably going out to bid in the fall. Any questions?
Yeah, I had asked a question before about surveillance of the new science labs, because most of them were not installed when the angles, et cetera, were all worked out. Is that going to require some modifications, or?
When they walk through, and that's what Gil's looking at. to see if in fact our experts believe that it's okay the way it is, or if we need to.
Okay, but they will be covered.
Yeah, we've had to make adjustments as the new buildings come up. Building shows up and the camera's now looking at the side of a wall.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So it wasn't there before, so we've had some change orders and things to move the cameras at a different angle or a different direction, so.
All righty.
Heads up, you may also have an issue, at least we, in the old days, I don't know about the new cameras, when the sun moves due to the season change, sometimes you'll have the camera be staring at the sun, so you may be faced with that as well, so.
Seasonal, even, yeah, that's true, because it changes.
Yeah.
A lot around here.
Yeah. My garage door doesn't work during about a 4-week window of time.
That's because you live on a former lake.
Emily, would you
Yes.
give them an update, just so they know about the lock, which schools are getting lockers this summer?
Absolutely. So
Oh, yes.
Jefferson lockers have actually begun. They're demolishing the lockers that are in the existing courtyard, and new ones will be put in. Casimir is also part of this summer, as is Torrance High School. So that was all sort of our phase 1 and 2 of the locker projects, along with the security camera phase 2, lockers phase 2, or technically 3. We'll be going out to bid for the remainder of the sites probably mid-fall.
Mid-fall, so, okay.
We need to get through kind of the madness of the summer, and then we'll get those documents out.
Well, it's a less mad summer than it might have been if we'd been doing
It's
it
very
3
true.
additional
It's
elementary
very true.
schools.
Next summer will be a fun one.
Yes, yeah, next summer is going to be quite a challenge.
Yes.
I think.
Any further questions?
Anybody?
Thank you very much.
There was, oh, I know what it was. Is it premature to ask about the track resurfacing? Oh, okay.
Why my mic was on,
Okay.
I was going
Yeah, I knew there was
interrupt.
something else on my mind.
to, and I believe I sent you an email just regarding, next year, we will be resurfacing the tracks at all 4 of the high schools and putting in new turf in all of the high school stadiums. That's going to require all the graduations to be at El Camino. Dr. Dougal's working with El Camino to, that site has been reserved, and we're working with the high schools, just like we did 9 years ago. We all went to the Home Depot Center, so the graduations will be at El Camino in their new stadium, and the middle school promotion ceremonies will be in the gyms, similar calendar to what we did, again, 9 years ago. So that worked pretty well. The reason why we selected really the high school principals, gave the final green light was that the window is about 2 months, and if we start in mid to late May, then it'll be done by early August. If we start in late June, early July, then we run a risk of not being done by football season. And with high school football, the largest revenue generator for the high schools, missing 2 or 3 home games could really be detrimental to the ASBs and just the overall operation of the campus. And so that decision was made, so we're moving forward with that.
And can we get ahead of that in informing the parents to make sure from day 1 of the school year that they know that will happen?
Yes, Dr.
Actually,
Dougal's working with the principals
yeah.
to make sure that communication is happening.
I've heard announcements even at the end of the school year here, and that's a good thing. People aren't happy, but they do recall having done this before.
When it worked right.
Yeah.
Worked better than I thought.
Before my time.
No, it wasn't. Or was it? Yeah, it was.
It was.
I vote for, I'd like the early graduation.
Oh, I went the 10 a.m. one.
Will you still be president, Mrs. Reagan? Then you can.
Of course, that means that Torrance High will not be for the 100th graduation.
At their own place, that's right.
They gave them out, though, this year.
Yeah, I know, but it's, okay.
Yeah.
That's the only, we'll go to other ceremonies.
Okay.
Motion to
Anything
adjourn.
else? Anybody? Nope. Okay, I have a motion
Second.
and a second to adjourn. We are adjourned.
Oh.
Thank you.